So, hi everyone, this is Ryan Hoyme, aka Massage Nerd, and today we have a very special guest, somebody that's been in the industry forever, but I'm not going to ask you how old you are, okay?
Yeah, I'm proud of every year I've
Okay, yeah. So this is Cherie Sohnen-Moe. Okay, I got it right? Yeah. So you have a book, it's called Business Mastery.
Yes.
Yep. So we've been using that for quite a few years in our school and stuff. And again, the only complaint I've ever said is there's so much information in there. So I just feel obligated to cover everything. So.
Well, that's a little difficult.
Because the thing is, our program, for just the business class is 40 hours.
Right.
So the thing is, with your information, they could have 80, 100 at least and stuff like that.
Oh.
But it's a great reference too and stuff like that because my students keep referencing it back and forth, left and right. So,
Yeah. That's what I hear, and that's what's made it really nice to people.
Yeah.
I mean, I run into people that say, "Oh, I've had your first edition, and I still use your first edition."
Yeah.
20 years later.
Yeah.
Throw it away.
What edition are you? Is it fourth now?
Yeah.
Okay. So you actually have continuing education classes built around it too, right?
Right.
Yeah.
It's what's great because so many people get this book is required in their programs in school.
Yeah.
So then when they get out, they have the reading material for the courses, and then they just either take tests or projects for the continuing ed. So it makes it really simple.
Do you know how many schools you're in right now? Then, or
yes,
okay.
Of course I
okay.
do. I'm a marketing person. Over 600 schools require it as a text, and about 1,300 recommend it.
Oh my God, that's a lot of people. So how did you decide to start writing a book about the business world and stuff? Yeah.
Well, I had been teaching at a school, at the Desert Institute of the Healing Arts in Tucson, and I couldn't find reading material for my students. I mean, there were great books, but I had my choice of, like Shakti Gawain, Creative Visualization, which goes really strong with my belief systems. But then in terms of marketing, what was really popular back then was guerrilla marketing. Really good books, but therapists could not relate to the language. They don't want to talk about battles and wars and strategies and tactics. And I had been working previously with a client in California, and this is like before computers, so all my handouts were like typewritten. And I'd worked with him for a long time doing consulting work, which is now called coaching, for a long time, and he kept saying that I should turn all this into a book, and I'm like, I'm not a writer. So I had all these things in a notebook, and then one day, and it literally fell off the top shelf and hit me on the head.
So you got a hematoma then.
A book was born. It's like, okay, I get it. Time to write a book.
So you also do a lot of, you have a website too. And then what's entailed with your website? What kind of things do you go over, or do you write articles? I know I've seen a lot of articles in the past and stuff like that.
I've probably written 150 articles over the years in different magazines, and I do things on a blog, not tremendously regularly, but I do blog. And I do articles. I do a lot of consulting work and coaching, but I give a lot of stuff on my site for free. I have tons of forms that you can download.
The forms, go there. They're awesome.
And besides, we create them in ways that people can actually adapt. And so many people give away forms, but you can't change anything. So you
do the Microsoft Word format and stuff like that. So
Word, RTF, and then writable PDFs. So you can go in and change the PDFs and save them. Whereas otherwise, most PDFs you can't save. But we did them in version 9, so it works really nice. So we do that. We have a workbook that goes with the Business Mastery book people can download. It's like 300 pages. But I like to be green in a system, so I don't want to print these things out. And a lot of schools that use them too. So, this way you can go and say, all right, go fill out page 13 instead of printing it all out.
Because the school I work for, they just started recently where there's a few classes where it's just green, so it's a digital books too now and stuff like that. So they don't want to try to get away from paper. So
I know, but there's nothing like opening up.
I know.
I see people with their Kindles, and should be handy with traveling, not to carry 3 books like I carry. But I like to be able to write all over it. I'm very kinesthetic, so I want to be able to color and write and highlight and turn pages down. So I don't think that books will ever become obsolete. And especially books that you use over and over again. You know, this is not a novel. You know, people will use the business mastery book throughout their career.
Definitely.
So slapping.
So you're also teaching a class here. Can you tell a little bit about what the class you're teaching here?
I'm teaching too.
Okay.
This afternoon I'm teaching a class called Profit with Products. Okay. And that's been something I've been really focusing on the last few years. I started working with a lot of my clients that were having issues, and so kind of testing out what I really believed and watching them really change their income by retailing, and retailing smartly. Retailing, I've never been a hard sell person, it's like,
and most massage therapists aren't, so
exactly. So it's like, so how do you do that? And so teaching them how you can integrate it in, because you don't want to just rely on your hands-on. The most incredible thing for me was when after I had written the book and published my book, and it was like, I made money while I slept. Different time zone, they bought the book then. And it was so freeing, just emotionally, No, it doesn't even matter financially, but just to know. And as a therapist, I mean, I got really injured. I got burned severely one time, and I was off and worked for a year as a therapist. And luckily,
that's crippling.
I had a support system. But a lot of people don't have that. And so to have something that you can also rely on is really nice. And people get so afraid of selling products. But we also have a Facebook, Linda Sohnen-Moe and I, we have a Facebook page. It's Retail Mastery, and we're putting all sorts of tips up on there, and we're hoping that's going to be a nice forum for people to talk about products and ask questions, and have vendors even get on and give information, not sales pitches, but just really good information.
Because with my website and stuff, I do a lot of affiliates and things like that, so again, it's a lot more passive income in a way too, so it definitely helps, because you can only do massage so much and stuff, and
that's the one thing I haven't personally done much is affiliates, but I think it's really wise, and particularly for therapists. And there's a lot of product companies out there where they don't even have to purchase and warehouse the products. They can just have it drop shipped, and it's like a no-brainer. Exactly. And the point is, you're doing this for your clients because they can't get this stuff. They can't go to their local Walgreens, and buy the quality of products that therapists have access to.
Exactly. Because again, therapists definitely need all that information as much as possible. So.
And then the next class I'm doing tomorrow is on Take Your Practice to the Next Level. Okay. So that's where we kind of vision what we want in 5 years, and then I take them back and look at where you're at right now and see where the disconnect is.
Okay. Oh, cool. Is there a lot of light bulbs in that class?
A lot of light bulbs, a lot of joy, a lot of crying. But then it's like, okay, if here's where you say you are and here's where you want it now, what are you going to have to change to get there? And then you have a choice. Maybe you don't want to make that change, so then change this part out here. Instead of beating yourself up. So it's like, really be a choice all the time.
Exactly.
But if you don't say what you want in the future, I find that most people just kind of ramble around.
Exactly. So, and sometimes just writing things out too, doesn't that help? Because it kind of forces them. And I've heard of people actually putting it up on the wall and stuff, and checking it off. And
it does really make a difference. But you also have to know what it is you want. I mean, because I remember I've been doing goal setting seminars, and for years I did every year at the beginning of the year or right at the end of the year. We call it new directions for the next year. And how I would prepare for it is I would look at my last year's goals, what I accomplished and what I did. And there's this one goal, like year after year after year was in there. And I got to remember, this is the late 70s, early 80s. And I had this goal and I wrote it in the right way you're supposed to write it. And it's, I own a Mercedes-Benz 450 SL. And, I'm still driving a Pinto 3 years later. And so then I looked and said, well, what is it that I really want? And yes, so what did the car mean to me? It meant safety, comfort, reliability. And as soon as I identified that, within a month I had a new car. Now, it wasn't the Mercedes, but anything was probably better than the Pinto.
Do they smell the Minko now? No.
But that's what I mean. It's really getting because a lot of times we say this is what we want here, but what we want is good quality. And in business, that's what I always support people looking at. What are the qualities? Because you could be doing all different kinds of things, but as long as you have the kind of qualities, like for me, it's the kind of people that I'm working with and the energy around that. And, I could be flipping burgers and have that, maybe. But that's what's more important to me. It's not the form, but the substance.
Yeah, definitely.
And that's what I want to support people in doing.
Yeah.
And my life's always been about supporting people living their passion.
Are you writing more books for the future, or what's your future goals?
I'm actually going.
What's your future goal?
My future goal is to actually sit down and write the second edition of The Ethics of Touch.
Okay.
It's been 8 years. That's really way too long. So there's that, and we're transferring all our courses truly to be online courses.
Okay.
Because right now what we do is people order them and we email them, but now we're switching to a whole online platform where they can just go in, they can download it, take the tests.
Yeah.
And if they're the multiple choice test, then they get automatically graded, and I'm just totally out of the loop. It's really not. But there's still somewhere I'm going to have to read them because they're projects.
Yeah, definitely.
But that's, the way to go. But it's really hard because one comment I get a lot, particularly from the ethics courses, is they love the courses that I do, but they really wish they had people to talk to.
Yeah.
And that's my whole concern with so much of schools going to a lot of online format is particularly classes like ethics and even business to actually sit in a room and look someone in the eyes and just get a sense of what's going on. It's really very different.
Yeah, so many different kind of scenarios too and stuff that could pop up, especially with ethics too.
Right.
So,
But on the other hand, sometimes people might not talk about it because if they're embarrassed, but if it's anonymous online...
Yeah, true. You can't win.
So that's why we do it all.
Yep. Okay, so it's been a huge pleasure, and I finally got to meet you. I wanted to meet you forever, so...
Same here. I feel like we've known each other forever.
Yeah, exactly. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.